Now, while many of us tend to look at Formula One and compare the drivers, it's become evident that over the past few years, the drivers themselves aren't usually the ones who decide their fate. In fact, if you're a Formula One driver, you'd probably be the first to point out that well over 50% of your success doesn't actually depend on you. One of the parts of a Formula One grid that can make or break a team's chances is the pit stop. This operation is critical because it allows drivers to change several specific vehicle parts to prepare for the next part of the race. But because many high-speed activities happen during a pit stop, it could also be what makes or breaks any driver's chances of success. And as we delve into the fascinating world of Formula One pit stops today, we'll uncover the rarely told story of a fateful pit stop. A pit stop that turned the tables in one of the most thrilling races in the history of Formula One. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. To fully appreciate this incident, we must first understand the intricate ballet of a Formula One pit stop. So buckle up, because what you're about to learn could change the way you watch the sport forever. So, what is a pit stop and why is it so important? Please sit back and let's look into some of the most important mechanics of Formula One. First, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel, F1 Racing Now, so we can continue to bring you more great content in the world of Formula One. Okay, now allow us to break it all down for you in this video. Have you ever watched a Formula One race and seen the bit where they dive into the pits to change their tyres amongst other things? Well, that's the pit stop. Because Formula One drivers and cars tend to use up so many resources while they race, pit stops are critical. Here, a driver can change their tyres and make any necessary changes that will be needed to stay competitive with the other cars and drivers. Pit stops have grown in complexity and organisation over the years. It's understandable, of course, cars need to be repaired and put back on the track as quickly as possible, and there's little to no margin of error. Today, the process of making a pit stop in Formula One takes an average of just 2.5 seconds. That's quicker than it takes for a person to sign their name. This average time has also dropped down from 67 seconds in the 1950s, thanks mainly to technological improvements and team staffing options. Currently, the record for the fastest Formula One pit stop is held by Red Bull. Not much of a surprise here, since these guys have been at the very top level of the sport for a while now. Red Bull set this record back in 2019 in Brazil with Max Verstappen. They completed the pit stop in just 1.82 seconds. Actually, watch it for yourself right here. Now, that's moving ridiculously fast. We'll show you another one of Max and Red Bull's incredible pit stops in just a minute. Watching the choreographed action that goes into a successful pit stop is breathtaking. It's at that point, when a driver enters the pit and leaves like nothing has happened, you know you're watching poetry in motion. Still, a successful pit stop doesn't just happen. In fact, teams spend hundreds of hours training and planning every action to the final millisecond. A pit stop can win or lose a race for a team, and looking at the intricate details alone, you'll quickly see why. A pit stop is usually handled by a crew of about 16 people. Each person is a trained professional who goes through rigorous training measures and is perfectly tuned to handle their job. Arguably, the most important of these professionals is the front jackman. This technician is the one who stands in front of the car as it pits, helping to raise the nose of the car as soon as it comes to a stop. Generally, a front jackman works with the lever that they use to handle the car raise, essentially making sure that everyone else can come in, change tyres, etc., handle any other technical tasks, and get the car moving again. The job of a front jackman can get tricky though. Sometimes cars come into the pit and aren't aligned with the jack, so the jackman has to move the lever to the left or right to align with the car and get everyone going. Besides that, a jackman needs to be incredibly strong, especially in situations where the car is yet to quite decelerate enough when it enters the pit. Once all the tyres are fixed, the jackman drops the jack, swings it out the way, and the driver can continue. If the car comes into the box without a front wing, then the technicians use a side jack to raise it up. Next up, we have the front wing adjuster. This role is self-explanatory. The front wing adjuster helps adjust the front wing, ensuring it is straight enough and aerodynamically fit. If there's no need for that, they can clear out any debris and tear-offs that could sometimes get stuck on the front wing. Then there's the wheel-off man or woman. Also self-explanatory, this person is in charge of taking the wheels off as soon as the car enters the box. Since wheels are bigger today than they used to be, these people need to be very strong. Their job is to pull the wheel off straight and swing it out of the way so a new one can be put on. Next we have the gunner. This professional stands by the car, holding the wheel gun, a thunderous machine that is placed over the wheel nut and fired to screw the wheel off or on. Once the tyre has been changed, the gunner switches the direction of the pneumatic wheel nut and screws it back on. This job is important because the gunner can only press the trigger for the wheel gun once the nut is properly in place. If he doesn't do it correctly, the nut could get grounded. We saw this happen to Valtteri Bottas at the 2021 Monaco Grand Prix. His wheel nut got grounded so severely that the wheel was unable to be changed and he was forced to exit the race. So the need for precision here can't be overemphasized enough. We should also mention the wheel on man or woman. As expected, this person is in charge of swinging the new tyre back into position once the old ones have been removed. It's not the most glamorous of jobs, but as we all know, it's imperative to the race. The guys you see over here are the car steadiers. While the car is jacked up, the steadiers are responsible for ensuring that it is correctly held in place and that there's no risk of rocking. As everyone does their job around the car, the steadiers, and to a considerable degree the driver, would need to ensure that the vehicle remains in place. Besides steadying the car, the steadiers are also responsible for checking any debris in its side pods that could interrupt the airflow and cause overheating. In some cases, steadiers can also be tasked with cleaning the driver's visor. Moving on to the back of the car, you'd notice that there are usually 2 to 3 people on each rear tyre. This is primarily because rear tyres are usually larger than those in the front, so they need to be very strong and move the tyres quickly and have new ones inserted with the highest levels of accuracy. I can't emphasise enough the need for strength, fitness and agility here. And at the tail end of the car, we have the rear jackman. Just as the wheelmen at the back need to be stronger than those in the front, the rear jackman also needs to be stronger than the front jackman. There's more weight in the rear of a Formula 1 car, so the rear jackman must be very fit. See these guys at the side. Their job is to test the tyres to ensure that they are solid and good to go. They have machines attached to the tyres that check their vitals, pressure, strength, fit, etc. Once satisfied with the tyres, they press a button signalling that everything is A-OK and the vehicle can be released. The driver himself is also tasked with ensuring that the vehicle is properly placed within the pit stop so that everyone else can do their job. There are marks on the floor of the box that help to guide the driver. And as we all know, they must be as accurate as possible when entering the box and parking. A delay, even if it's for just a fraction of a second, can be catastrophic for the driver and the team. Once the driver stops, he holds the car in neutral, helps to hold the car steady and focuses on the light. The moment the light turns green, he's off again, and all in around just 2 seconds. Something interesting that I wanted to point out is that the pit crew is chosen before the race, and once that selection is made, it cannot be changed. If a member of the crew is ill though, teams are able to have fully trained reserves that can quickly fill into those positions. Considering the importance of the job, everyone involved in a pit stop will need rigorous training. The importance of practice should be emphasised here, of course. Teams get in between 1,000 and 1,200 practice pit stops each before the start of every Formula 1 season, and the practice continues every weekend before a race. These trainings can vary, of course. Every member of a pit crew is either an engineer or a technician, so there's a huge need for technical knowledge. As you'd expect, physical fitness is also important, since pit crew members have to do a lot of heavy lifting when called upon. With an average Formula 1 tyre measuring 18 inches in length and weighing about 11.5 kilos, manoeuvring one can be challenging. So the wheel-on and wheel-off technicians need to be immaculately fit. Gunners must also be in shape, with wheel guns rotating at about 10,000 RPM and running at a 26 bar pressure. For context, that's almost 25% of the pressure needed to clear your patio with a water pressure. Given that it would need to be used for less than 2 seconds, the pressure on the gunner's arms is almost indescribable. Pit crew members typically train and perform drills about 5 to 6 days a week. This is etched into the team's schedule, and they even travel with doctors and physiotherapists who always keep an eye on everyone's fitness levels. Fitness schedules for pit crew members typically focus on areas like core strength, cardio and stability. However, plans tend to be individualised based on each person's role on the team. For instance, a jackman will need better core and shoulder strength to lift the car, while a wheel person will need to build strength in their back and legs. Crew members are also made to go through breathing exercises, visualisation techniques and much more, all to help them stay calm under pressure during the pit stop. It's pretty insane to see just how much investment teams put into ensuring that their pit stops are as accurate as possible. And this is all just the tip of the iceberg. Do you think you have what it takes to be part of a pit crew? Would you want to be part of one? Let us know in the comments below. Now that we've delved deep into the mechanics of a pit stop, it's time to revisit that fateful one we mentioned at the beginning. This incident occurred during the 2016 Brazilian Grand Prix, a race known for its unexpected twists and turns. The driver at the centre of it all was none other than Max Verstappen. Amid a torrential downpour and a race that saw multiple safety cars, Max found himself in 16th place with less than 20 laps to go. Yet, through a masterful drive and smart decisions by his Red Bull team, he made up ground quickly. The turning point came with a lightning-fast pit stop executed by his pit crew. In mere seconds, they changed his intermediate tyres to wet tyres, allowing him to take full advantage of the rainy conditions. Max rejoined the race and with his new tyres and pure driving skill began to cut through the field, passing car after car. By the end of the race, he'd made it all the way up to third place, securing a spot on the podium. This incredible feat would not have been possible without the swift and perfectly executed pit stop. It was a true testament to the importance of a skilled and well-coordinated pit crew, as we've explored in today's video. This fateful pit stop in 2016 reflects everything we've been discussing. The precise coordination, the technical perfection, the careful choreography, every element came together flawlessly. This is just one example of how the unsung heroes of the pit crew can dramatically alter the course of a race. The split-second decisions and the actions taken in the pit lane often determine who stands on the podium and who falls short. It's not just about the drivers and their cars, it's also about those tyre changes, adjustments, and of course, the hundreds of hours of practice that make it a winning pit stop. In the end, the thrill of Formula One racing isn't just about speed, it's about strategy, teamwork, precision, and the pursuit of perfection. As we wrap up this thrilling journey into the heart of Formula One pit stops, it's clear that every single split decision, every coordinated move, and every ounce of skill from the pit crew can make the difference between victory and defeat. So, the next time you watch a Grand Prix, remember that beneath the high-speed adrenaline rush, there's a symphony of teamwork and precision happening in the pit lane, and also the tale of Max Verstappen and his heroic drive in Brazil, made possible by the tireless efforts of his pit crew. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the mechanics of a Formula One pit stop, remember to hit the like button. Your engagement drives the engine of this channel, helping us to create more in-depth content. And if you haven't done so already, take a moment to subscribe to F1 Racing now. By subscribing, you'll join a community of Formula One enthusiasts and gain access to a wealth of insights and analysis from the world of F1 racing. But don't just stop there. Click the notification bell to stay in the fast lane with us, getting updates whenever we post new videos. This way, you won't miss a beat as we continue to explore the thrilling world of Formula One racing. We hope this video has given you a new appreciation for the unsung heroes of F1, the pit crews, and their crucial role in this electrifying sport. We look forward to bringing you more behind-the-scenes access and in-depth analysis in our upcoming videos. So stay tuned, keep your passion for racing ignited, and let's keep exploring the exciting world of Formula One together. Until next time, this is F1 Racing Now, your inside track to all things F1.